What does your most public display of nerd culture look like? I play D&D in a bar occasionally, just a regular, straight up bar, rather than a gaming cafe or such. They serve good food, they have beer, they have big tables and they don't mind us being there. Occasionally you get some weird looks from other patrons when they overhear snippets of your conversations, but mostly people don't care. They're there to get their drink on, and we're there to roll some dice. I have a walking stick with holes drilled in it so I can launch bottle rockets out of it. It looks like a wizard casting spells. So, naturally, I spent 4th of July with it outing Firebolt. Fuego. Different kind of nerd culture, but every year for Halloween my friends and I play in a 3-day concert series where everyone covers an old metal death metal band. Turnout is around 50-100 people and it takes months, countless hours to prepare for. We don't get paid and it's really doing nothing for us except we have fun. Then it's all worth it if it's fun. Sounds dope. I'm a morning show sidekick for a small town radio station. The morning guy is a pretty big nerd, too. Whenever one should be a 2-minute mention of the new superhero film turns into a 20-minute debate about fan theories we've heard, I fear we're turning off our listeners. Actually gotten a couple angry phone calls about it. That's what college radio is for. If people don't like it, they can change the channel. It's not like you're getting paid. Conventions. The whole reason I go to PAX East every year is because I feel comfortable around everyone, knowing that we all have a common interest. Part of the reason why some of the outside banners and signs say welcome home. The feels get me every time I see it at PAX. Haven't played 40k with friends in years, must get back into it actually, so I guess it's just being a massive technophile. I've got a t-shirt with pictures of the 4 main synthesizer sound waves on it: sine, square, triangle, saw. I maintain it's cool, but the third person I had to explain it to said nerd. So that, I guess. I've also got one with a Roland TB303 on it. That's also cool. I have that shirt. Also a Robert Moog shirt. I don't play, but my brother who grew up in the early days of synths does. I love the early synth stuff from that era. I play Magic the Gathering, and while I don't talk about it with non-players, if someone asks, I just tell them it's one of my favorite hobbies without shame. Frick what anyone else thinks. It's what I enjoy doing in some of my free time. It's such a fun game. Watching speedruns Twitch at lunch on my main monitor. It's low key, but some people really can't grasp the concept of either of these. I still play Pokemon Go, and yesterday was community day. A bunch of people walking around in circles in a park and sometimes yelling out, "Shiny." That's us being big nerds out in public. Definitely my family's license plates. I have Jedi 1 and parents have 2 Sith. And my car has a bumper sticker that reads, "My cultist sacrificed your honor student at Miskatonic Middle School." Mike Thulhofer Prez Y vote for the lesser evil sticker unfortunately wore off. Mike Thulhofer Prez Y vote for the lesser evil sticker unfortunately wore off. I got to attend the campaign rally at Gen Con 96. They brought out a graven image for us to chant to and everything. There's one convention in my area each summer and I cosplay there every year. My town is sort of small and the convention is in the middle of downtown, so I usually see at least 5 or 6 people I know who have no idea what I'm doing and give me the weirdest looks or just straight up ask me, "Why the frick are you dressed like that?" My 2 lightsabers from Ultra Sabers. They both have high durability blades and can take impacts. I also got a connector for them so I can screw them together to make double bladed. Heavy as all heck, but Suiwaru worth it. I have always wanted those, but because they look so nice, I have about 5 Hasbro FX lightsabers right now to decorate my living room. But they do look cheap since they're not the $200 Black Series ones, just the regular discontinued ones. One day I will splurge a little and it will be my living room centerpiece. My Wi-Fi is named the Millennium Falcon because it's decently fast, but once in a while something goes horribly wrong and it stops working. I read that as my wife is named the Millennium Falcon. Chewbacca hoodie me in the wife chair, or turning up to a party dressed like Finn and finding out it was a goth theme night, not a costume party. My Wi-Fi is Middle Earth and all of my computers and devices are named after Lotta Hobbit Silmarillion characters. I'm typing this right now on Eldarian. Give more examples. For 6-player MTG at IHOP, we would always get the same corner booth and play on Thursday and Saturday nights. Saturdays were the best as we would stay there through the bar rush. The looks given by tipsy or straight up drunk men and women were a constant source of chuckles between us all. For the longest time I wore a Left 4 Dead hoodie. It got so much use that it started falling apart, which made it look even better. The sleeves were frayed, there were some random holes in the chest and the left elbow was torn. I wore it often with a matching hat that was just as beat up. The hat came with some light pre-stressing but years of wear made it better. Dust, grime, the occasional scuffle made the ensemble look like I fell out of the game. I had to replace the hoodie though because it was getting problematic. I keep it in the closet though. The replacement is one that looks like I'm part of Fallout 4's Institute. I'm not shy about being nerdy, but I also don't like the idea of photos, so even at cons, I don't cosplay, but I usually have a Star Wars necklace on, and weather permitting, maybe a Doctor Who scarf or Wesley Crusher jacket. Not very public but very nerdy. When I bring a girl over and they see the huge posters of my favorite animes and I usually go into detail one stroke to the time, they really don't seem to mind. Reminds me of a funny story I read about David Tennant just after he'd secured the lead role on Doctor Who. He brought a date back to his place and she was marveling at all the Who swag on display. When she said it was great that the show sent him all sorts of memorabilia, he covered for the fact it was all stuff he'd collected on his own beforehand and agreed. I have a Steven Universe cotton candy garnet sticker on my cell phone case, and I have a couple of cosplays that I wear to conventions or on Halloween. Sometimes they get a WTF reaction from people. I'm planning an Edna Mode cosplay this year. No capes. Horde beanie, Horde shirt, Horde lounge pants, Horde hoodie, Horde wallet, working on Horde jeans and Converse, Locktaroga. We're talking about nerd culture, not being a total freaking pea destroyer. I once cosplayed as Captain Jack Sparrow so well that kids in the food court were asking for my autograph and my mom did not recognize me in a photo. I'm female. I'm still proud of that one. More weeb than nerd, but I keep one of those Japanese shrine charms on my phone and camera. I also shamelessly post con pictures on my Facebook, with or without cosplay. Weeb is a subgroup of nerd. My humongous Warhammer 40k arm is occupying several shelves in our living room would be my best guess. Also telling my co-workers about LARP, showing them pictures of the Fate and having a good chuckle about their confusion. My humongous Warhammer 40k arm is occupying several shelves in our living room would be my best guess. We've got a 1%er here. I always wear some sort of nerd shirt, either about video games, Portal, Half-Life, Zelda, or anime I love. If I don't have a job interview you won't see me in different clothes. Ditto. And for job interviews, and weddings and funerals, I have my shiny Transformers cufflinks. Most public is interesting to pick apart, based on number of people who have seen it in person. It would have to be a Goku Gohan Shishi cosplay I did with my wife and son at Comic-Con. Some significant fraction of Comic-Con attendees for that year. Based on number of normal people who have seen it in person, it's probably my Sailor Moon latte mug I eat cereal out of at work. Hundreds of co-workers. Based on number of people who interact with it, it's my open source zombie apocalypse roguelike many thousands of players. If I bring my Nintendo Switch to the train and play it in there, is that considered to be nerd culture behavior? In that case, that's it for me. I don't think playing one of the most popular gaming systems how it was meant to be played is nerdy. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. I was the best man for my brother-in-law's wedding and we are both huge Tolkien fans. When the officiant asked me for the rings I quietly said, in my best Gandalf-esque voice, I only have one ring to rule them all. The utterly confused look on the officiant's face and the stifled giggles from my bill were priceless. I work construction, where a wedding band is a hazard, could lose a finger, so my wife and I got tattoos on our ring fingers. I got the Goron Ruby and she got the Kokiri Emerald. Dressed in full cosplay, that's provided I'm actually in public. I'm super socially anxious, so I try to avoid it as much as possible and get a lift to any conventions. I'm a huge nerd, but I don't think I have a single public display of nerd culture. I think it's because I am a very function over form person. I like the thing and what it can do and have no interest in it as a decoration. So I love MTG, D&D, Star Wars, Lotta, Ect, but I think I only own like one Star Wars shirt. Why spend $20 on a MTG shirt when I could buy a fetched land? Why spend $40 on a Dice Tower t-shirt random Etsy D&D item when I could buy Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes? I guess really the only public display is my keychain has Luca, Vocaloid, single rubber keychain, Hannah, Girls und Panzer, the Ure symbol and Sorda symbols all single metal keychain and a Luca Miko, and Kato's small version keychain. I lose Miko somewhere in the wild. The Sorda and Ure symbol have fallen off, but I still have them and not put them but on. I don't really think anyone notices. My only other thing would be I only post on social media when I go to a play, concert or musical. It's normally just the stage before the concert and the program. I have a handful of polyhedral dice I like to roll at work when I'm bored, and I have a bunch of Godzilla posters in my office. My phone wallpaper is always from some anime or video game that I love. If that is not enough, my room is full of posters and video games too. Riding the NYC subway in full cosplay, including face paint, every single year to New York Comic Con. It was even more awkward back when I lived on Long Island and had to do the same thing, but with 40 minutes of transport through suburbia before hitting the city. I went to Universal Studios Japan dressed as Rei Hino from Sailor Moon, from my Airbnb, through the trains, to the park, and back. Before we moved into our home, my husband and I used to play D&D in food courts, mainly because our friendly local gaming shop decided D&D players weren't contributing much to their bottom line and kicked us out. This isn't exactly public, but anyone who comes to my apartment for any reason must confront the walls and walls of Funko Pops. I'm at over 300 now and starting to have some serious regrets, especially about storage space. Still, having my Rover set prominently displayed next to my TV and under a Flash poster makes me smile every time I look at it. I have a sticker in my car window from the anime Eden of the East. Mostly because I like the saying noblesse oblige. The concept of the privileged having the obligation to help the less privileged is something I support. I'm a semi-pro athlete, so I usually hang out with a bunch of meatheads and guys who try to go out drinking most nights a week. Rugby culture, a classic douchebag bros, and I fit the description as well. But I'll be damned if I don't get down on some StarCraft. Met some geeky guy at the bar rocking a Zergling shirt and we discussed TVZ for an hour. Also we agreed that Protoss is gay III and OP. But then again, every race that isn't the one you play is gay III and OP. My friends had no idea what we were talking about. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.